Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Another wonderful Thursday afternoon to you, everyone. It is the 4th day of the month of July, 2024. Thank you so very much for persevering with the real issues with me, Shelton Daniel, your host and the producer, alongside our technical operator, Alton Jaquan Joseph. It's another of those hot days, but what else is new? And plus, we are in the hurricane season. If we needed any reminder, we got it on Monday. The effects of Hurricane Beryl, which is still packing quite some bit of punch, just as Jamaica. And last I heard, the Cayman Islands were very anxiously, with much trepidation, much anxiety, fear even, preparing for their turn to get whacked by Beryl the Peril, as I've called it. I hope you're having a good day so far. Be careful with the heat. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it that we're accustomed to that. The heat stress, especially the stress caused by breathing air that's hotter than normal and so on. And then you feel like you're just not getting enough and you keep taking deeper draws and gasping and so on. It can happen to you. If it happens, make sure you're well hydrated. Get to some shade. And dress, the kind of way that the fullness of the sun, at least, although the humidity probably has more to do with it, doesn't dump on you a little too hard than what you were able to bear, especially as you get along in the years, you're older and so on, especially if you're not accustomed to it as you think you are, because you spend much of your time in an air-conditioned office, and so you don't have that kind of conditioning of the body to deal with it like somebody who's accustomed to working outdoors, or somebody who's not always at a wheel driving and so on. So, self-understanding is perhaps one of the most useful things. You know your circumstances and so on. Don't go about just pushing yourself just to prove that you're tough and that, you're made of sterner stuff and you can deal with that. Operate within the limits of your capacity, of your tolerance, of your capability, of your health, all these kind of things, underlying conditions that you may have. But before I go any further, let me apologize once again for the late start to this program. It is because our news started late, and it's not because the news people didn't have their stuff together. It's because I can attest we had a power outage earlier on today in the morning. I got it too, as I was making my preparations earlier in the morning. And when we have this power outage and the power fluctuations and whatever come with them, even if you have backup generator and all of that, but it tends to affect your electronic equipment, your computers and so on. And I believe that is what affected, if not our newsroom itself, but certainly our production, the people who take it from news and put it on air, and it's got some processing and so on to do. So we had a bit of that, and it has cut into the time of the real issues. I know I'm not going over time. Broadcasting requires discipline, programming and so on, to be respectful of the program that comes after you, especially now we're in the carnival season. They may have things already lined up and planned and so on. And because some time was taken from you to believe that you have the right to go back and grab that time, it doesn't always work that way, okay? So I don't anticipate going into what I normally refer to as extra time. What I will do is, as I've been doing all the time, but it's just not working, open the phone lines for you a little earlier so you can call in. And I know the phones were working yesterday. The calls came for sure, but not the way some people, tell me about, they wanted more time and they were trying to call and they couldn't get through. I announced the early opening of the calls and people still tell me they want to spend some time listening to me and that kind of thing. If the phone lines are open, make use of them, call and make your point, all right? I'm not a preacher man that you need my sermons to take away as your takeaway. I think you have your churches and good pastors and preachers to do that for you already. But let's go back to something that I promised I would revisit today. If you remember the 2016 election campaign, there were a few things happening in the background here in St. Lucia that perhaps most of us don't really know about those things that were happening in the background, although they were spoken about. One of them, and it's nothing new, it has nothing to do with one political party. In fact, one of the people who was on the ground working for the UWP is someone that I know had worked for the Labour Party before. People switch sides, they offered more money, all kind of thing. They have fallouts and so on. But it's known that there was we hear a lot about Cambridge Analytica and all of that, but there have been a lot of regional pollsters, regional political strategists and all sorts of, these people and so on, who come and work for different political parties in different islands. So what I'm saying, there is nothing like a denunciation or a criticism of the fact that there were some Barbadian political consultants and whatever we call them on the ground working. I don't know for the Labour Party, but the UWP, it was known. Names that were given were Hartley Henry, who I know personally, who I have had interactions with in the past when he was doing work for the Labour Party. We heard about another lady who was a close aide, assistant of Mia Motley as Prime Minister. Apparently they've been friends for a long time. We heard names like Lucille Moore. They fell out a few years ago. There seemed to have been a rather acrimonious parting of ways, and Lucille disagreed with certain things that Mia was doing as Prime Minister, and apparently there was a public falling out of them. And it was even alleged that Mia Motley herself was in St. Lucia campaigning and doing work on the ground for the UWP. She denied that bitterly. She said she was in St. Lucia for another reason, but is it anything strange for political figures in one country to be attending meetings or whatever, to go to a public meeting or whatever? I think she bristled at that and so on. But it is said that Mia Motley was hearing that she was siding with Alan Chastney. I don't know how true it is, and it's neither here nor there. Who knows how many St. Lucian politicians and who are even in ministers and who are high up in the Labour Party who would be doing things in the other islands on behalf of political parties that the SLP supports and solidarity, etc., etc. Let me just tell you, though, that generally there are some political parties that have what you call fraternal relations. They have a particular basis for solidarity between them. And many of the Labour parties in the OECS and the wider CARICOM, they have such fraternal relations because a lot of the Labour parties, they are called Labour parties precisely because they grew out of the Labour movement, the trade union movement. That's one. So a lot of those Labour parties, they are very closely connected with the trade union movement. In fact, in Antigua, for example, it is sometimes difficult to differentiate between one of the largest and probably one of the oldest trade unions in that country, the Antigua Trades and Labour Union, the AT&LU, to differentiate it from the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, the ALP or ABLP. I have a close connection. You know, I think the late V.C. Bird, Old Man Bird as he's referred to, was the founder of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, and I believe he had a very long and old association with the Antigua Trades and Labour Union. So you will find at 46 North Street, which is the headquarters of the Antigua Trades and Labour Union. Many people will even believe that it is, and maybe for some time it served as the headquarters of the Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party. On another street nearby, what's the name of that street? Is it Newgate Street, I think? You know, as you leave a country and, you know, your mind, it's further and further in your rearview mirror, your memory. There's the United Progressive Party, which is very closely associated with the Antigua and Barbuda Workers' Union, the ABWU. One of the founding, if not the founding leader of the United Progressive Party, the UPP, Mr. Baldwin Spencer, is also very closely associated, as a long association of the Antigua and Barbuda Workers' Union. And so you'll find people like Mr. David Messiah being an opposition senator for the UPP and also being the general secretary, and Mr. Chester Hughes and so on being president of the union and also being a senator. He was once an elected member, minister, UPP. You find those kinds of associations. But beyond that, there is also membership that a lot of the Labour Party organizations in the Caribbean and elsewhere have had with an organization called the Socialist International. And the Socialist International, what you may instinctively or intuitively think, it ain't based in Cuba. It ain't based in North Korea or Russia or any of those kinds of countries. It is headquartered in England, in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom, contrary to what you may see it as a bastion of conservatism and capitalism and all of that, is actually the birthplace, almost, you know, you might say, of socialism in the world. Many people say communism had a lot of its beginnings, if not its beginnings, in England. I don't know, you know. A lot of people. John Compton, that many people believe was a champion of the business sector and the capitalist and all of that and so on. He started his political life and consciousness considering himself and considered by many to be a leftist, to be a socialist. As a matter of fact, I can tell you personally, the late Boswell Williams, in conversation, former Governor General of St. Lucia, brother of, well, he himself was also an MP. I think he was the first MP for V4 North when that constituency was first carved out when they were split. But I could be wrong on that one. I tend to be wrong on a few things because I'm speaking from memory. I had a conversation with Boswell Williams, and one thing he repeatedly told me, John Compton is a trained communist. And he can retrieve documents to show me Compton's membership in some communist organization in the UK. I don't know if I actually laid eyes, but Boswell Williams repeatedly, I remember visiting him he was living in Sanssouci at the time. So people who know, at a house in Sanssouci that he was occupying, no, I ain't lying. Boswell Williams, his brother, Bruce Williams, was also the MP for Vieux South. And that's after him that Bruceville is now named in his honor. William Bruce Williams, his actual name. So, Boswell Williams repeatedly used to tell me that John Compton studied in England and on. During that time that he was in England, that John Compton was a member of whatever communist organization, and he's a trained communist. So don't worry if all this thing, it was his pathway to power that he had to side with the moneyed and wealth elite and that sort of thing. But anyway, Socialist International, a UK headquartered organization, many of the Labour parties, I wouldn't venture to say all, in the Caribbean, including St. Lucia, are members or affiliates of Socialist International. Now you may look at some of them, and over the years, because of their evolution, just like the evolution of Compton and from his days as being, NLM, National Labour Movement. Again, he was a trade unionist with the Labour Movement and so on, whatever, He joined the Labour Party out of his work as a trade unionist, a man who led strikes and all of those kinds of things. Then he felt the Labour Party was not going forward, so he decided, whatever, I don't need to go back into the history. But you might look at political parties in Barbados, and you might believe that the party that is associated with Sir Grantley Adams and subsequently his son, John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams, that these pillars could not be associated with anything having to do with socialism or socialists and so on. I mean, yes, they were Barbadians. Yes, they, were people who advocated for their people and, decolonization and all these kinds of things. But you might believe Errol Barrow would be more a man who you'd associate with Socialist International and so on. Tom Adams and them had this kind of upper crust conservatism about them and this kind of thing. And you couldn't associate those guys. Yet it is the Barbados Labour Party of Grantley and Tom Adams. By the way, John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams is more commonly known as Tom Adams. His name was not Tom on any birth certificate. It was not Thomas. It was John Michael Jeffrey Manningham Adams was his name. Like his father, a lawyer, Queen's Counsel, all of that and so on. Very intelligent man, very articulate and so on. It was Tom Adams who came out once in the aftermath of the Grenada invasion of all the events and so on, when his party, the Barbados Labour Party, which Mia Mottley now leads and is now the Prime Minister, they were accused of interfering in the Grenada electoral process and having their people on the ground there to push the elections in a certain direction for the party that they supported. And Tom Adams came out and he said, and I remember that part of his words very much, I see nothing wrong with political parties in one country, and I can't imitate him, he had this deep baritone about him. I see nothing wrong with political parties in one country helping political parties in another country, I can't do it like him, One of the guys with the deepest voices I've ever heard. Tall man, slim and so on. I don't know where he was getting this kind of, Before he came back to Barbados after studying in England, he was a producer for the BBC and all of that and so on. Or maybe he had the voice training and that kind of thing. But Tom Adams said he saw nothing wrong with that. And one has to understand that fraternal relations exist between political parties in different territories, such as the Barbados Labour Party, his party, is a member of Socialist International. Yeah, the Barbados Labour Party, like the St. Lucia Labour Party, are members or affiliates of Socialist International. Not a shame people try to give socialism a bad connotation and this kind of thing. So if there is a party in Barbados that the St. Lucia Labour Party naturally has historical fraternal relations with and so on, it might amaze you to know that it's not the DLP of Errol Barrow, now absolutely obliterated. It is the Barbados Labour Party of Grantley Adams, Tom Adams, Bernard St. John, Owen Arthur, and now Mia Mottley. This is the party which is our fraternal, cousin or whatever in Barbados. So when I heard about Mia Motley on the ground here supporting UWP, I kind of winked. I said, that's quite a journey from the days of even the conservative Tom Adams, that he recognized fraternal relations based on common membership or affiliation with Socialist International. But maybe now it seems the trend is when you're in opposition, you hold hands with other opposition parties and so on. When you're in government, which I find is absurd. Government and political party are two different things. You get elected to government, but you are still the Labour Party, you are still the Socialist International Party. It don't mean you don't cooperate and collaborate and show respect with the other government and so on. But your fellow fraternal parties, whether through trade unionism or Socialist International or whatever, you maintain your fraternity. There's that opportunistic thing that we're in opposition, so we're going to form, opposition parties and so on. Sometimes our philosophies is very, very different. We're not the same, even if we're in opposition and so on. You want to topple the government, but at the end of the day, fraternal relations should be cultivated, I think our fraternal relations in Jamaica as a Labour Party, not as a government. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre has to act as a prime minister. He has to work with other prime ministers. He has to work. But at the level of political party, fraternal ties and so on, in Jamaica, it's not the ruling Jamaica Labour Party. It's the People's National Party. That's where the fraternal ties are. So Tom Adams said he saw nothing wrong. And he never said, I see nothing wrong with governments in one country helping governments. He said, I see nothing wrong with political parties in one country helping political parties in another country. So to me, it's a non-issue. Whether Mia Motley, whatever, if she feels that it's UWP she supports, I've heard that Keith Mitchell in Grenada supported Allen, that's who he supports, and whatever it is. I've heard that. But here's what I was coming to. Before we go for the break, I want to finish. There was a guy who I never met in person, but I admired his writing, his emails, his communications, his regular press releases coming out of St. Kitts. I think he was the communications director either for Dr. Denzil Douglas when he was Prime Minister and the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party in that time was in office. I kind of admired a lot of what the guy was putting out. The writing was good, the communications, the persistence, targeting the key, the very important points, the standout points, making sure they stuck and so on. A guy by the name of Charles Jong. I hope that's how it's pronounced. Jong, Charles Jong. And apparently he was doing some great work for Denzil Douglas and the Labour Party in St. Kitts and Nevis. The St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party and Denzil Douglas, if I remember correctly, they lost the elections in 2015. I think so, if I remember well. After 20 years, Dr. Douglas had been Prime Minister for 20 years. He had been in power for that amount of time. And so maybe Charles Jong was out of work at the time, I don't know. The other significant thing that may have happened at the time was that Owen Arthur had come to St. Lucia to be the guest speaker at, I think, the annual convention or whatever 50th anniversary celebrations, but in late 2015, to be the guest speaker at a convention of the St. Lucia Labour Party. He was very well received. There was no shortage of good reviews for Owen Arthur, the former Prime Minister. But it was known that Owen Arthur and Mia Motley were not getting along well. Owen Arthur, after having lost the election in 2008 to the DLP led by David Thompson and so on, when another election was called after Thompson's death, he virtually came in and elbowed Mia aside, and retook the leadership of the BLP, led them into another election, which to everyone's surprise, the DLP returned power with a man that they hadn't given any chance, Frondell Stewart and so on, at the narrowest of margins and so on. They held on to power, so Owen slid back into the background. But you could see, I kind of felt sometimes like Owen didn't want Mia to win an election and to get back into office. Like there was something about her he didn't like and he didn't think she was, and like he was sniping at her. I don't know what it was, but there was a lot of back and forth between them. So I don't know if maybe Mia Motley was upset that the Labour Party was playing host to and welcoming and playing up her nemesis, the man who would not let her settle into the leadership of the Barbados Labour Party, whatever. But Owen Arthur came to St. Lucia, and that proved to be the last year that the St. Lucia Labour Party would be in office. 2015 going into 2016. So if Mia Motley came and she decided that Socialist International fraternal ties be damned, she's supporting Allen because maybe she felt there was a closeness between Kenny Anthony and Owen Arthur that rubbed her the wrong way, I don't know. But there were she was here. She said that was not why she was here. There were other Barbadian consultants like Hartley Henry, Lucille Moore, and all of that who were on the ground. After that, and it's only later I found out, that Charles Jong was brought to St. Lucia to work with the Labour Party on its 2016 election campaign. I hadn't heard about it. It was after the fact I was told about it, that Charles Jong had come in and he was going to play. And I thought to myself, this guy looks capable. From everything I've read about him, he's great. What I didn't know until much later, and I'm not making this up myself, somebody who was in a position from within the Labour Party told me that Charles Jong, bringing him across, proved to be a disaster. That the guy came to St. Lucia to work with the SLP on its 2016 election campaign, and then the guy jumped ship on the Labour Party. That Charles Jong went to work for the UWP. I said, oh, Charles Jong? I mean, I don't know what the guy's personal politics, but the way the guy was functioning for Denzel Douglas and the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party, I could not see how he could come to St. Lucia to work for the St. Lucia Labour Party and he skip on them. But that's what I'm told, that Charles Jong skipped on the Labour Party. I do not know how much of a factor this played in the Labour Party's loss of the 2016 elections, but Charles Jong, I'm told, he bailed. He bailed on the SLP. He said that must have been quite a blow, because who knows what he came and what he was told and what information he was given and what inside thing, and then to carry that across. Someone later told me that Charles Jong was persuaded to abandon the SLP by some of the Barbadian coterie, the Barbadian squad, the Barbadian platoon that was on the ground in St. Lucia, that they are the ones who persuaded him that it was a better bet to jump ship on the SLP and go work with the UWP. I can't tell you whether it was a particular person, whether it was Hartley, who had worked with SLP before. I cannot tell you who among the so-called Barbadian squad that were there that persuaded Charles Jong to do that, if in fact that is what happened. 2 years later, 2018, fast forward, Mia Motley and the Barbados Labour Party, this time Owen Arthur apparently did not jump in to foil her and to, thwart her in any way. I always felt he seemed like he was trying to thwart her, like he wanted the Barbados Labour Party to win, but for some reason Owen Arthur could not stomach Mia becoming Prime Minister. I don't know why. That was my reading of the situation. But this time it didn't seem like he interfered. Maybe his health was failing at the time. He didn't have the strength, because 2 years later, we know, 2020, Owen Arthur was dead. Around that, about that, 2020 or so on. Owen Arthur was dead, or 2021. But 2 years later, Mia Motley and her Barbados Labour Party make a clean sweep in the elections in Barbados. They win all 30 seats. They blow away the Democratic Labour Party. They blow away Frondel Stewart and Chris Sinclair and all the names that you would have heard there. You hardly hear about those names anymore. And guess what? It isn't long after, that Mia Motley appoints a director of communications and social media for the government of Barbados. And who do you think she appoints? Charles Jong. So the Charles Jong, who was brought by the Labour Party, and that's reliable information, to work on the 2016 election, jumped ship on the Labour Party in St. Lucia to go and work with the UWP, I'm told. Charles Jong, immediately after Mia Motley wins that election, he becomes Director of Communications and Social Media in Barbados for the government of Barbados, headed by Mia Motley. Coincidence, you think? Why am I bringing this thing up? It is to continue what I was saying yesterday. And I can't confirm that Mia had any enmity against the St. Lucia Labour Party. She said, I can read you an article where, she said this is not true, and, when they told her that the timing, whatever, she said, am I being followed by the Gestapo or something of that kind and so on. She was upset about it and so on. It is to continue the point that I began yesterday, that the St. Lucia Labour Party needs to do a better job, in my opinion, of connecting the dots, of interpreting the subtle signs of things that they come. Like I mentioned to you, Alan Shastney, every letter, every communication the guy pens, he has to copy it to CDB, to IMF, to World Bank, to all this kind of thing. And given what we saw happen at the CDB, you have to ask yourself, is this just Shastney not having a proper grasp, a proper understanding, and a proper observance of protocol and so on, or does he know exactly what he's doing? Is his hand being properly guided? We have to watch those things. And then we have to ask ourselves the right questions. Does that bear any relation with the way this Millennium Highway project has been dragging on and on and on and on? This thing is going on and on and on and on and on. And now we're in the rainy season. We're in the hurricane season. At any moment, we could have something on the scale of a tropical storm Debbie or 2013 Christmas Eve, whatever thing that can, in a small time drop, a Hurricane Thomas kind of thing that can drop, double-digit inches of rain, And that is an area we know the problems that it can cause. While it is true, it's not our money, it's British money, but if it happens, the frustration of the people is not going to be with the British government. The frustration of the people is not going to be with the Caribbean Development Bank. The frustration of the people is not going to be with C.O. Williams. The frustration of the people is not going to be with the consultant, engineer, whatever it is. It's not going to be. Whoever is working towards that, they know that the people's frustration, both natural and what is really concocted, what you manage and orchestrate and so on, is against the Labour government, is against Philip J. Pierre, is against Stephenson King, is against those people they're going to be directing their frustration. Especially if you cannot resolve the problem quickly. I'm just going back a few years to show you all the dots. A guy who was a champion in the cause of Denzel Douglas and the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party. He came down here and I'm told he jumped ship on us, and who he jumped ship, who persuaded him to jump ship, and where he ended. In Barbados there was pushback, there was some protest, in Barbados about, look, don't we have people here who can run our GIS and our government information and communication? Do we need to bring in this fellow? And Mia Motley stood firm. She stood firm. That Charles Jong is the one she bring in there. And Barbadians generally are people who are very proud and they have a lot of self-belief and they, whatever, and a Barbadian coming to do this. She stood firm on that one. That she wants Charles Jong to be doing what he's doing, Director of Communications and Social Media for the government. I have no question about Charles Jong's competence. But given the way Barbadians tend to be a people who, I wouldn't say they're over-territorial, but, Barbadians tend to have the thing that it absolutely has to be something that you can't find the Barbadian to do and so on, that there's too much human resource capacity and capability in Barbados. Charles Jong showed up in Barbados and is holding a top job where communications is concerned with the government of Barbados. Let us watch little moves, We have to watch them. Sometimes you might think they're insignificant and they might have a lot of things. This is Barbados, This is Barbados. This is the place where the CDB is based. And this is the place where, I said the first time a St. Lucian has become president, I was wrong. Sorry, that was a slip up on my part. Sir Arthur Lewis, our Sir Arthur Lewis, I think was once and the first president of the CDB. But my point still stands that it is unprecedented in the history of the Caribbean Development Bank for there to be an internal coup, an uprising to overthrow the president of the bank. It's unprecedented. Never happened to any other president of the Caribbean Development Bank. Nothing that we ever heard of that spilled over. And given the timing of it, given those letters that are always being copied to CDB, I am asking the question, did Jean Leon know something that he was prepared to correct, that he was standing in the way of an agenda I'm not saying he was, you know. Did Jean Leon become aware of a certain agenda, and he was going to stand in the way of that agenda? So this drastic, unprecedented action to oust him, to kick him out and so on, to constructively dismiss him, to destructively do it in a manner that will raise all kinds of unanswered questions swirling about. Is that all part of an organized, orchestrated scheme to get him out of the way, because the CDB is a crucial instrument that some people need to further and pursue their agenda? We need to watch those things, because even in St. Lucia, even domestically, there might be some moves taking place that they may seem to be innocuous. It may seem to be far-fetched to suggest that there is anything more to them than coincidence, when there is anything but coincidence associated with them. Be careful who you have deep in your belly, you know. Deep in the belly of your internal caucuses and whatever it is, especially when you see the maintenance they are determined to maintain close contact and connection and friendship and embrace with certain people that you know are committed to your destruction. Some people do it for love. It might boggle your mind, you know, if you know the secrets of certain little boyfriend, girlfriend, little things that go on behind the scene and that are more important to some people. It might be because somebody's greasing somebody's hand. Sometimes your worst enemies, they know how to have a hand deep inside your business, because they know how to grease certain people's hands. They know if they can persuade you to give them this massive contract and assure you that they have nothing against you. You know the kind who know how to play both sides of the fence, or they know how to keep their heads above water until what they really want is in place. The kind who can come and tell you that they've always supported you, that it's never you, it's Kenny they didn't like and so on, but they like you. Or the kind who tell you, me, I'm a flower boy, you know, I support flower boy, but you see that man Alan, you know, I don't want to have anything with him, you know, and this kind of thing. They can cook up these nice little stories to butter you up and flatter you, but they're as vicious and dangerous as anything. As I love to say, they have a lot of vice. You know, shy vis ankisayo, you know, I tell show you know, pespun ban vis paseyo. And they know how to play that kind of game. And sometimes the very money, big contract, they're doing two things with it. They're providing crucial financial lifeblood support to your opponents, one, and they're using some of it to grease some hands to make them think that he's okay, he's cool, you know. Yeah, he may have had his little thing on the side, but he's cool, you know, no worry. He's not a fellow we need to fear and so on. Why? This kind of persuasion, because somebody's hand getting greased. Some little girlfriend or boyfriend getting kissed. There's a lot of that kind of thing happening. But I believe I need not talk to people who are veterans and who understand those things even better than I do. Real issues, we have to take a break. When we come back, the phone lines are yours.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, Vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
The voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Four 487-9849, yes, 487-9849, the mobile number. In area code 758, of course, 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that number, and you can also call us on the landline 4533-911. The telephone calls are open, the telephone lines are open to take your calls, and I'll also be looking at the Facebook Live to get some of your messages, but I've gotten some that have been sent to my personal WhatsApp by some people who have my number. Hi, Shelton. Good reflection. Do we have someone on the line? Okay, we have someone on the line already. Hi, good afternoon.
Shelton Daniel.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. Before I make my contribution, I just wanted you to inquire on our behalf in the Central Castries Basin. When are they going to collect the garbage? Which day they passing? I don't know if they're going to pass tomorrow, so I don't know if you could.
So what was the normal day that they would have passed?
Monday and Fridays.
All right. Well, they will pass Friday. They said so. They said the garbage collection would resume as normal. So if your garbage collection day was the day they issued the notice, they would come. If not, the next scheduled collection day that they would. For example, where I live, it's Monday, which of course would not have been possible. So the next collection day would be tomorrow, Friday.
Okay,
and they've said, try to contain your garbage within your premises until that time.
Okay, thank you very much, Shelton.
Yeah.
Now, Shelton, there are certain things in life that we have no control over. Shelton, you with me?
Yes, I'm listening to you.
Certain things in life we have absolutely no control over.
Mm-hmm.
Shelton, I was born in the South Pole. Some people were born in the North Pole, that's above the equator.
Mm-hmm.
So you find the skin color, the color of their eyes, will be different.
Okay.
So I have no control over my skin color. That is how God decides to make me. You follow what I tell you, Shelton?
Mm-hmm.
And next thing I have no control over, Shelton, that when I speak at times, I stammer. Shelton, I have no control over that. I have no control over my stammering, my brother.
Mm.
So why should Terrell Prudence, one who wanted at some point in his political career or lifespan,
Mm-hmm.
one who wanted to contest a seat under the leadership of Philip J. Pierre, why would Terrell Prudence now turn around and want to try to humiliate and disrespect Philip J. Pierre and try to mock him because he stammers? I condemn that.
Hmm.
And I take these things very personal, Shelton,
Mm.
because we have absolutely no control over that. You see? Certain times somebody might just fall sick. Supposing today or tomorrow, Terrell Prudence, God forbid, get a stroke, Shelton, and it's have him in a state of disability. You feel somebody should laugh at him, Shelton?
Yeah, well, I don't think we should wait until anything like that happens to Ferrell
But we
Prudence.
must condemn it. We have to condemn it.
No, but let me finish now. You're not listening to me. We should condemn it, but I'm saying we don't need to wait until something like that happened to Ferrell Prudence to laugh at him. We should be laughing at him even now so. Because Ferrell Prudence is a clown. I've said so many times. As far as I'm concerned, Ferrell Prudence is no more than a clown. And you mentioned about him wanting to contest elections under Philip J. Pierre for the Labour Party. And that is where he turned against, remember, LPM, whatever. Ferrell Prudence turned against the Labour Party because they did not entertain even the suggestion of him running a seat. UWP, after the next elections, they're not going to run Prudence. Who going to take a chance on Prudence as a candidate? Huh? He going to swing again. You know that he against UWP and he against Alan Shastney. Ferrell Prudence is obsessed with being given an opportunity to run a seat for one of the major political parties because his little forays into whatever he called them, LPM, whatever, they didn't work for him. And so all he's doing is just striking wildly and so on at one as opposed to the other. Once he doesn't get his way, he'll be doing the same thing after the next elections.
But we must condemn his actions, huh?
What's that?
We must condemn his actions as mocking someone
Yeah.
who stammers. That's my point. We have to condemn his actions.
Yeah, I agree with you. No,
Yeah, we have to condemn it, Shelton.
yeah, I'm just saying some people
Yeah.
are so
And
inconsequential.
as one who stammers also,
Yeah.
I take great offense to that, my brother.
Okay.
Because you have no, Shelton, let me tell you, there are certain times, like you want to speak, and you just not seeing the words coming out, my brother.
Mm.
So it's something you have no control over. And to mock someone for that, his actions have to be condemned. You see what I'm telling you? And I'm very passionate against that, my brother. I'm very passionate against that. And I'm calling upon us as a people to pray for our Prime Minister, to protect him, to empower him, and to support him. And my last contribution was the Prime Minister making time to go down Soufrière and other parts of the country to see, to have a first-hand view of what happened in terms of the damage. And there was a situation where a guy, you could see the guy had, as the people would say, he had a little too much. And the Prime Minister took a decision by telling the guy, I am not buying rum for you. I am not buying alcohol for you. I could go to the extent and buy a shandy for you, or drink a ginger ale, a non-alcoholic drink. You know, people want to condemn the Prime Minister for that.
Yeah, they also want to make. They also want to make a
You know,
big.
people want to condemn Bon Dieu la Vierge.
They also want to make a big deal about him saying what sounded like ginger ale, And I'm saying so many of us, when we pronounce words that have an R included, you create a kind of a phonetic liaison between the R and the other part of it. Other people, they don't, you know. So, I don't know.
Because whether it's ginger ale or ginger dill or ginger no ale or ginger gale, the message is clear. I am not buying alcohol for you. Case closed. We're supposed to applaud the Prime Minister for that. Had the Prime Minister purchased alcohol for him, bad. He would have been on the cross crucified. He would have been Philip J. because of Bugla Ali Soufre, Bugla by Bugla Wom Gaza. But Shelton, have a blessed day.
Okay, bro. Take care. All right, we're taking your calls 4533-911 and also 487-9849. That's 487-9849. That number, you can WhatsApp call us on it. Don't try the 724 anymore. It's 487-9849. We have someone else on the line. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shelton. Good afternoon to your viewers and listeners.
Hey, what's up, Miggs?
How are you doing, my brother?
I am doing okay. Do you agree with me, Miggs, when I said to Gasper, I don't think our energy, political, emotional, otherwise our temperament, should be expended, indeed wasted on somebody like Ferrell Prudent. To me, he's so inconsequential.
Pendulum Prudent?
Yeah,
man,
you know, he's so inconsequential, you know.
A waste of time.
Yeah.
Prudent is forgetting all the paraphernalia that he had when he wanted to run the Labour Party. So what happened now?
Yeah.
When he sat down, remember the thing Philip J. Pierce said he'd rather stammer eloquently, stammer the truth than to lie eloquently?
That's right.
Ferrell Prudent was right there in the front. I was there that day. He was right there in the front clapping. And that was the time he wanted to be he himself wanted to be a candidate. So nobody taking the jackass seriously. He's a jackass.
Yeah.
Or as Yari would put it, this guy's a jackass, according to Andy Daniel.
Yeah.
Let me just two things, Sheldon. I have one question. The first question is, do you believe now that a video has come out showing that Canadians pronounce ginger ale as ginger ale, you believe the UWPs will go back on their criticism of the Prime Minister?
It will die just like Martinez.
Right.
You see, you know this now. You know this now. Martinez dead. You're not hearing anything about. This lawsuit. We're being sued. We're being sued, and we're in a crisis, and our visa-free arrangements are in trouble. Just 1.4 billion. Where's our 1.4 billion?
WTF.
Yeah. So now it's about little, petty peccadillos and little inconsequential, non-issues and so on, like ginger ale and this and that you go picking at. Yeah.
And the next thing is, Shelton, on this whole issue in Soufre, right? This whole issue in Soufre. Two things.
Which one? About the Prime Minister telling the man?
The same thing. I'm going to give it some energy because sometimes, right? Not sometimes. You know what the EWPs do? They say a lot of stupid things, but the only way they'll realize that it's stupid is if somebody who they're in opposition to says it. If you get my point. So I'm going right there and say, you know what? Philip J. Pierre is a madman. Philip J. Pierre should. What the hell is he doing offering a ginger ale instead of rum? Why is he offering a ginger? He should have given him the rum. But on the flip side, how do you give him the rum? You'd hear a different story. Yeah?
Philip J. Pierre too cheap, man. He don't want to buy a rum for a man.
Yeah, but how do you give him the rum? You'd hear that the Prime Minister encouraging Trump.
Remember there was a time they were trying to make a big thing about Philip J. Pierre eating some cheese curls or something like that at some place in Beaufort. A man eating some cheese curls that becomes quite a tooth bag. I Philip J. Pierre fake apporte you.
No, but then here's my question: isn't Herod Stanislas the former rep, the immediate former rep for Soufre?
Soufre and for Jacques, yes.
Where was he? What was he doing?
Yeah, he was sitting right there, wasn't he?
Drinking and buying drinks for them. I have nothing against. I've always admired that part about that Herod. I have no issues. I like him. We're friends. The fact that he's there with the people in the community. But what was he doing? He was drinking them and buying drinks for them. And
I personally didn't see him doing that. I wasn't there.
I can tell you, and even if I did not see him there, I can tell you based on habit and experience, that's what was being done. And I can put my
it is a bar, isn't it? It's a bar.
It's a bar.
That's what people do. They buy drinks. They buy drinks for themselves. They buy for others, etc., etc. So
where is the concern the former MP was showing for his community? That for the same place that he limes that just got destroyed by the wave.
Yeah. Anyway.
You know, so I always much ado about nothing as with everything the new United Workers Party does.
Mm-hmm.
So I can give that my energy. Like Akoti said this morning, you know, that's the first and last time she's given that her energy. And that's the last bit of energy I'm going to give that, because if the UWP don't realize that all their stupid efforts are fruitless and will only lead to further destruction for them in the long run, and even keeping Allen there in their midst and at their helm is just a precursor to further destruction. Let them dig their own graves. I personally am happy with the performance of my government, my prime minister. So let them continue.
Yes, son.
Anyway, Sheldon, have a good afternoon and to your viewers.
Thank you very much, Mix. Right. Thanks a lot. All right, we continue taking your calls. 487-9849, 758-487-9849. WhatsApp, call us on that mobile number, and on landline 4533911. We have someone on the line. Hi, good afternoon. Real Issues. Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hey there, how you doing?
Let me tell you, let me tell you, that is the first time for the week I listening to the show. You know, I did not have cable. I know what miracle happened there. And I got cable, so I was able to listen to the Real Issues today. Shelton, let me tell you, welcome back into my life, son.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I'm happy to be in your life.
Yes. So, Shelton, do you realize that the popularity of ginger ale has gone up?
As a matter of fact, when this program is over, I must find myself where I can plonger en le de ginger ale. Pas même, you know, na plonger en le de ginger ale.
Mais Shelton, ou réaliser ça fait là? Moi do ginger ale. Sans catchile.
You fait ginger ale vin bien popular actuellement ça?
Exactement. Bon changer, les timisi a des sanvé for qui mange cheese sticks vin popular.
Of course, yes. Moi-même.
Tout le monde a acheté cheese sticks après ça. Bon, les timisi a dit, il parle about fig là. Comment? Fig vin plus popular.
Ah, vérité.
Plus monde vin te ka manger fig. Comment? Bon, ginger ale ka vin plus popular. L'autre bail là, ou vle di moi, si timisi a di on miye, il pa ka bali wom na espere dim sa, ma ka ba wom. Ou vle di moi, zo pa nan rien pou jwen an peyi a ki pa bon. Ou vle di moi, ti mo fi poleon, pa sa pale about domaj la ki fet soufouye a. I kay parle about ginger ale. Ay maman is van kon Riverdale. I ka parle about ginger ale like Premier Minister like Can you believe the cadre of these people?
Yeah.
Shelton, do you know what I said? STEPTS? What is we have the most Nobel laureates for GDP capita. What is that, Shelton? You want to take on a man that know what he's about, that's running the country properly? You cannot find anything on that man except that man selling a drunk, an alcoholic who is drunk without even having any alcohol for that day, that is not going to give him rum. A man who is health conscious, who is prompting the nation to be more health conscious, take care of their health, visit the health practitioner on the daily, and is trying his best in the health sector. You expect him to give that alcoholic, that drunk, more rum? I take in Mr. Pierre over Alan Chasney any day. I take in the little black boy from Marsha any day over the product of Canada. I take in Mr. Pierre's accent any day over the rolling of the tongue any day. Because when you compare the two, Alan Chasney can't stand by Mr. Pierre. No day, no how, no way. And I want to say thanks to whoever, whatever, that was able to restore my cable for me. Shelton, I am happy to have you back. Bye-bye, Coco.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. And this is the point I find, about the United Workers' Party and its communications. Too much sweating the small stuff, the inconsequential stuff, the thing that is really, it's so peripheral, it's so, I don't know. I'm wasting time trying to find words to describe this kind of thing. That's a problem with it. We give it too much attention. So then we give it oxygen, we give it relevance and so on. We really should just ignore this kind of thing. Not even waste a scoff at it, just basically consider it to be something absolutely unworthy of even our attention and so on. Ginger ale. He said ginger ale. He said ginger ale. So many yuck. Just leave that alone. It just goes to show, again, what I'm saying. Who's in charge of your communications? Who's in charge of your messaging? And what it is that they're seeking to accomplish? Are they seeking to accomplish something for your organization? In this case, a political party. Are they seeking to accomplish something for your cause? Something for your objective? Something for your goal? Or is it a self-gratifying exercise to achieve some kind of black widow vendetta against, former paramours and boyfriends and people that, disappointed you or whatever, or people that rejected you and you can't deal with it? When you cede the political messaging and the strategy of your party to somebody who is so afflicted by this kind of pettiness and so on, that they want to hit at somebody who they had some bitter, parting of ways with, and maybe not so bitter, it's just simple little petty disappointment and so on, so that you get control, you hijack the communications and PR and messaging strategy of an entire political party, and it is used simply to achieve your little petty, gratification for, like I said, Black Widow vendetta. And it's Black Widow because isn't that what they say the Black Widow spider does? The female, after it mates with the male, it kills it, So I think there's a little bit of Black Widow vindictiveness that the United Workers' Party has allowed itself to be hijacked and enveloped by. Anyway, we have a caller on the line. Hi.
Hello, good day, Shelton.
Hi, good afternoon to you. Yeah, I'm doing okay. And you?
Shelton, mette ha eme ginger, c'est après on a bu ginger ale.
J'aime ba qui est pour chill TV, est pour faire là où ça au café.
Exactement.
Où ça n'a dit? Mrs. un jam qui en da pays a. You pour nous faire prix ça pour vendre by moun et puis brand un jam Saint-Lucie, pas couiller ginger ale ou ça. Couiller ça ginger ale. Ek vendre ça by moun ou ça mettez différents les 500 dans ça. Mix li et puis corsol, soursop milkshake with ginger flavor, ginger ale this ek by. Nous t'es supposé pour faire ça. The Philip J. Pierre brand of ginger is ginger ale, man. Magie.
Like I learned at school, empty vessels make the most noise. Exactly, ça cassette là. When they don't get anything to say, they will stop at anything.
Yeah. But all of those things, to me, they point to leadership. Leadership in an organization.
Exactly.
A political party. That rather than the leader providing guidance, you understand?
Yeah.
To those who are working for him, whether in a PR capacity, whether in a this capacity and so on, the leader looks like he's quite content to either send them to do that or not do anything. You understand? Exactly. It demonstrates a fault in leadership. It seems to me that rather than the dog wagging its tail, many different tails with their own agendas of pettiness, and vindictiveness, they are wagging the dog of what is supposed to be the leadership dog, So there is no leadership,
Yeah, none whatsoever. But I really admire that you take us down that memory lane history. Sheldon, I really enjoy that segment.
Which one was that, huh?
At the beginning, with all what you said about Barbados and St. Lucia, I always knew there was this connection with Barbados and St. Lucia politically. I know me and Buckley always used to be in St. Lucia, coming to campaign and stuff like that. So when you said that, it just bring back all the memory. I recall Mia Motley being here a few times. So there has always been that interference with the political thing. And you remember Ralph Gonzalez always used to come and campaign with Kenny.
Exactly. So I'm saying.
And then remember what he said. He said he's Compton Prime Minister because I believe they said
Compton was born.
Whatever.
Yeah. In Canada.
So it's nothing new. These things have been happening for so long. So I don't see it's not. There's not an issue or anything. It has been happening. And the same with the St. Lucian politicians go abroad and campaign for the compatriots. So it's nothing new.
Exactly.
But I really Yes, I really enjoyed that little segment, in your preamble.
Yeah, thank you very much, my friend.
All right, Shelton.
Thanks a lot.
All right, have a good one.
All right, okay.
Bye.
We don't have much time left, but we'll continue taking the calls until 2 o'clock. I'm not going over today. So thank you very much, everyone, for making it worthwhile. Keep the calls coming. And we have someone else on the line. Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, how are you doing?
Good. One question for you. I want to know why is the leader of the opposition in all that disaster? Is he not putting himself on the ground? Does he know that he has persons that is there that he has to support and give them listening ear? Where is he in that disaster?
You're asking me, you should be calling to tell me.
Yeah, I think you have a better knowledge of me where he could be at this time since you're in the forefront.
In the background, pushing his minions to go and do, little mischievous work for him about ginger ale and this and that. Have you realized there's two types of politics Alan Shastney knows alone, which is the same, is one. So we can make it a compounded singular. Alan Shastney is mischief and embarrassment alone he knows, Mischief and embarrassment. Always trying to make a little thing into something much bigger and significant than it is, and to see
I know he's a nuisance, but I really want to know if he's on island.
Yeah.
Because I'm not hearing his voice, I'm not seeing him.
Whether he's here or not, what difference does he make? What difference does Alan Shastney ever really make anyway? Especially a positive difference. To say Alan Shastney...
People that pushing the narratives for him supposed to find him and said, okay, let us be on the ground because you have your friends and people there that are supporting you. And it's the time that everybody needs the leader. You're supposed to be there.
Yeah, well, he has some great people, who are deputizing for him, like Dominic Fede, Spider Montut, Harold Stanislas. These are super guys, superheroes in their own right, man. So when Alan is not there, it makes no difference because they can hold the fort for him perfectly and even more effectively. So, give them a round.
Just stay yapping them off, just like Alan. Nothing will be done.
Yeah, give them a round of applause, man.
Take it.
All right, thank you very much. All right, still taking your calls. 724. 487-9849. Yes, 758-487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us on that number. Especially useful for those of you. Bernard Haynes, give it a try now today. 487-9849. Try calling us. You've been saying you're having problems reaching us on that one. And also 4533911. We have another call on the line. Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, Brother Shelton. It's not Bernard Haynes.
Yeah. How are you doing now?
I'm all right, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing great. Yes, man. I'm okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's sidetrack this nonsense, this ginger ale, etc. We have to give our Prime Minister kudos for the way he has handled things.
Yes.
Setting the nation's mind at ease, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We've seen a man on the ground in his element among his people.
Right.
And having light moments. All of a sudden now, people kind of have light moments, kind of make jokes. Mm-hmm. Look at how we held this Harold Stanislas, made a joke with him, made a joke with the other guys, etc., etc. So we know that the UWP, they are devoid of issues. They have nothing to grab onto. They were hoping that Martinez would have panned out for them, but that has faded away. So there's nothing. So the only other thing now is warm. Mm-hmm. And if I was advising Alan Shastney, I would tell him to jump on that bandwagon, support Philip, Mr. Pierre. Mm-hmm. And talk about alcoholism is bad, and this rum thing, this chicken and rum thing, but let's leave that alone. Shelton, today's the 4th of July, right?
Yes.
And I think we're coming to the 28th of July. You know what the 28th of July is?
Of course I know what it is.
Correct. I can make a suggestion. I don't want to sound infallible or presumptuous, but But I think sometime in the weeks coming, the days and weeks ahead, we begin to outline, to outline for our people and the nation all the good stuff that the government has been doing. A day we can spend on two or three things a day, articulate them, flesh them out, let the people know what it is that the government is, the positive things that the government is doing, and and they are continuing to do. So as we count down to the 28th, we build a momentum going into that walk. I don't call it a march. We're not marching. We're walking with our prime minister and cabinet. Working for good governance. So as we come down to that time, we begin to show and explain and delve into to the goodies that are, Mr. Pierre and the ministers of the government they have done. So at least the people are aware. You understand? So we're not going to give them for as a rest. We can juxtapose, compare and contrast. Although there's nothing to compare, we can contrast. But show a letter as opposed to something $70 million direct award for thing, as opposed to the Hall of Justice going up. And I was passing Peña Street. I was pleasantly surprised the day after the hurricane. That was a Tuesday morning, and the whole courthouse was flattened already.
Yeah,
major work. I was like, whoa, these guys are serious, and it's serious. These fellas are playing around. So we're beginning to see the progress and stuff. And I think, Bill, we have to build the momentum going in to that walk on the 28th. So that's just my foolish suggestion, and I don't know if you'll take it on board.
No, of course, right? of course.
Okay, thank you very much, brother.
I must one of these days, bring you in so we can have a general chat, of things, because I know now you're retired, so you don't have to worry about, that aspect of it. But you are a repository of quite a lot of information, both from memory and things that I'm sure you would have noted and maybe archived over the years and so on. So, we really have to have a further conversation, which when this program is over, I'll see if I can initiate, yeah?
It'll be my pleasure.
Right. All the best to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
all right, bye-bye.
All right, 724 is not on. It is 487-9849. You can WhatsApp call us from that number. Bernard Hinn says, give me that number again. Bernard, it is 758-487-9849. You got it? 758-487-9849, and we're almost out of time, so try to see if you can call it now. We have a call on the line.
Yeah, Shelton, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm good. Just a bit of information from you. What's the latest with the industrial action at Bank of St. Lucia?
Practice what you preach and HR disconnect and all of that. I don't know, honestly. I've not been following it.
So you don't know if it's still in effect
I honestly have not been paying. You see, because of the hurricane and all of that, I think this is a week where, our attention got pushed, a little bit off its normal axis and focus and so on. So I don't know at this stage. I really honestly don't. To me, I passed there and I don't see any unusual activity. But maybe the time when I passed there, I don't know. It's not. I can't remember.
You're talking about today, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't passed there today. I didn't go into town today.
Yeah, because up to yesterday, and to my surprise, I thought that had already been resolved. But yesterday afternoon, when I passed there, I realized that thing is still going on. And that started from last week, yeah? Yeah?
If you can help me, I'll be grateful.
I'm not sure. I haven't passed there for today, so that's why I'm asking. Yeah. If by today it would have been thing. But then again, that's a lot of inconvenience for people, especially month end. People just got paid and things, so they want to pay their bills and things, get their salaries and things.
Indeed.
But again, Shelton, that's all the bank we need, right? That's all the bank you want, right?
Is that the one that's all the bank you need? Is it Bank of St. Lucia or the other St. Lucian bank? I don't know.
I'm sure that's all the bank you need.
Yes. Okay, my friend. So how do you think things will go, or how would you like to see things go there?
No, I think in all what I'm hearing, I believe that thing should have been resolved already, because from what I'm hearing, it's all about something to do with the preparation of the impending weather that was approaching.
Okay.
you know, and I feel well by now, you know, is these people who are involved in management and thing, all those who are orchestrating, who's leading the charge.
Okay.
I think these are people who are considerate enough, you know, individuals, they are leaders and things. And I feel right now common sense should have prevailed, you know.
Okay. Better, cooler heads should have prevailed. Thank you very much. Okay,
exactly.
We have to go now.
All right, Chuck.
All right, okay. Folks, thank you very much for staying with The Real Issues. I just want to say very quickly that tonight from 8:30, myself and Albert Fredis will again be co-hosting Can I Help You on NBC Television, holding on for Honorable Richard Frederick, who is still out of the country. We did so last week Thursday. He did ask us to do it for two successive Thursdays, and so we'll be on tonight from 8:30, Can I Help You on NBC Television. Until then, on behalf of Jaquan and all of us here, Shelton Daniel thanking you once again and signing out.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Why are you suffering from aches, pains and illnesses? When there's help for you. At Health Service Center, we offer a wide range of treatment that has been scientifically proven to help you with your aches, pains and illnesses. Our ICT machine is one of the most effective devices in the health field. It has shown positive results in many health problems, such as back pains, shoulder pains, migraine headaches, pain in the knees and legs, poor circulation, arthritis, diabetic neuropathy, numbness in the feet, strokes and sports injuries. ICT, repairs, rebuild. The power to heal, the future of pain relief.
Live streaming has become one of the best ways to connect the funeral of a loved one with friends and family, both local and international. NBC Television will live stream your funerals on television and Facebook at a reasonable rate. With our state-of-the-art equipment, you can be assured that the quality of your funeral will be to your satisfaction. Call our office now and book your obituary and streaming with us. 758-453-7458.